Working in sales, possibly one of the most common jobs out there, with an estimated 13 million salespeople in the US alone. But what exactly do salespeople do on a day-to-day basis? What do I do on a day-to-day basis? Keep watching to find out more. Oh, it's looking a bit gloomy in here today, isn't it? What's going on, guys? It's Fairhead from Sales Unveiled once again. As always, slashing through all the misconceptions around sales, business, and of course personal development, and giving you the practical advice that you need in your day-to-day careers. So a lot of us, this guy included, fell into the profession of sales, so it can definitely be daunting to really get an idea of, what exactly salespeople do in a day-to-day basis. Whilst there are a lot of fantastic videos out there, and even a few on this channel actually, teaching you exactly what to do in sales, there aren't that many that go into the actual day-to-day concepts of what working in sales is actually like and what is required of you. In the video today then, guys, I'm going to cover the 4 R's, which is a term that I may have just come up with about 15 minutes ago, which will go into exactly the detail of what salespeople do on a day-to-day basis. You're also going to want to stick around to the end of the video where I'll have a bonus that should definitely help clear these things up and clear up the misconceptions there a little bit more. Shall we proceed? Point 1, research. So the first R that we're going to jump into, and the first thing that salespeople actually do, is research the prospects and the organizations that they want to reach out to. I mean, let's face it, as good as we are at our individual jobs, not every single department is going to be interested in the products that you're selling to them, are they? For example, if you're selling social media software, for example, you're probably going to reach out to the marketing team. Whereas if you're selling something around payroll and payroll systems, HR's probably going to be your best bet, right? Researching prospects and organizations then is essential to ensure that we find the right people that fit directly into our ICP, which is better known as our ideal client profile. I'll be honest, guys, ICP is just a very fancy way of saying people who are going to be interested and more likely to buy your products than other people. So let's not get bogged down with all that technical sales jargon. I'm really close to the camera, aren't I? The reach out. In the reach out section then, salespeople will spend their time either sending out cold emails or cold calling prospects to try and vie for their attention. And on the rare occasions when we actually manage to get a hold of the prospect, it's our job to qualify them, ask open questions, and really qualify if there's potential to sell our product or solve a problem that they're facing. Wish someone would call me for all the problems I'm facing, because it's a lot. Now, arguably, and I'm the one that's arguing it, this is the hardest part of working in sales, with you not being able to get through to around about 90% of the people that you want to reach out to, and some of the people that you cold call just genuinely being pretty damn rude, which, shock horror, people who you cold call end up being rude to you sometimes. It's a hard life, but it happens. Luckily for you those guys, I've got loads of videos which cover things like subject lines, outbound sales emails, cold calling, all of which you can see over here on the screen, or here. I still don't know where it is. Help me, guys. You know how I can tell that you don't need help reaching out? By liking and subscribing this video. Guys, if you're interested in more fantastic content around sales, business, personal development, or just generally like the look on my face for some weird reason, which I'm not too sure why you do, please do consider subscribing. We've got loads of great content and we've got really good videos coming up over the next couple of weeks or so. The goal of the reach out then, guys, is to understand if there's a genuine opportunity to work with your prospect and their company, and basically set up a further, more in-depth meeting, which will take us to the next step. 3, the relationship. Don't know what that was. Like all relationships, building a relationship with a prospect and a sales prospect at that is incredibly tough and requires quite a lot of work. And because of that, is incredibly difficult. Again, like all things working in sales. If the reach out process then was speed dating, then the relationship part would be the 2nd or the 3rd date. And yes, that's a horrible analogy, and I'll definitely stay away from the dating weirdo stuff. References. Why did that take me so long to say? Building a relationship then is incredibly important, as it allows us, like I mentioned, to further move the prospects along the sales cycle and just genuinely see if there's scope to potentially work together. Now, 90% of the sales process is actually stuck here. So what you'll find often is that people are more than willing to have a conversation, but when you start raising price, answering their objections, this is where a lot of the sales process gets stuck. So this is a crucial and vital stage within the sales process that, like I mentioned, or usually gets covered off in, individual meetings, follow-up calls, things that are a little bit further on along the sales cycle there. 4, revenue. So it's all about the closing according to some sales professionals. And let's face it, salespeople wouldn't get very far in their careers if, we didn't actually bring home the money at the end of the day. I mean, that's pretty much what the business of sales is all about. So once we've built a relationship to a point where we've got a verbal yes from our prospect that they want to move ahead with our solution, our product, our service, whatever it is that you're offering, the next stage is to negotiate a price and close that deal. Now, anyone who's worked in sales for any significant period of time knows that just because you have a verbal yes, it doesn't mean that they're going to actually move forward with your prospects. And it's actually quite common for things to go back and forth and even lost at this particular stage, even though technically you both agree that you're going to move forward with each other. Now, there are loads of hidden techniques that we can use to actually get pen to paper and get a contract signed, giving legal tender for a deal to actually be taking place, whether it's adding time incentives, other incentives to really make the most of any particular deal there. But this section and what salespeople do on a day-to-day basis with regards to this is just, negotiate a best price for everyone, come up with a win-win solution, and then close that deal. Definite mouthful. I'm sweating profusely. Please don't judge me. Bonus. Yeah, I'm using my leg like a drum, even though I went kickboxing and damaged my leg severely. So guys, hopefully this has been quite useful. What I've done with my 4 R's, I've broken them down in a way in which they hopefully follow the sales cycle. So as you can imagine, with the sales cycle, we start off with, speaking to loads of contacts. That would kind of be the research stage, and then the further down we go, hopefully put a graphic in here, you speak to less and less people and the relationship gets built further and further along. Now, the reason I've designed the 4 R's in this particular way is actually simply because a lot of the time we'll have different sales roles that actually manage these different aspects. So what I mean by that is this: the sales research role is mainly going to be handled by individual sales research teams. So this is a job role that not enough companies actually use, but it can be vitally important in finding the right prospects and those ICPs. The research section of the 4 R's, and even a little bit of the relationship building, is usually down to sales development reps, who are the ones that are usually cold calling the most, doing the most activity, and trying to get through the no's before they can get to the yeses. The relationship builders and the revenue guys tend to be the account managers or the account executives, or whatever you want to call them, who tend to manage the final part of the sales cycle, bringing home the money overall. So all of these roles work in unison for each other. And if you are kind of unsure about, which of those roles to go after, hopefully that would help. Speaking of which, guys, I know a lot of the people watching this are in their first sales role or applying for a couple of sales jobs. So if that's yourself, feel free to watch this video here, which will show you exactly how to absolutely annihilate your sales interview. Guys, as always, thanks so much for checking out the video today. Please, please, please do like and subscribe and leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on, if you agree with these things about the day-to-day of a salesperson, or if there's a little bit more going into exactly what it is that we do. Until then, see you in the next one. I need to figure out what I need to do now. I need to figure out a better way to end these videos, actually. But yeah, guys, that's all for now. Speak to you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.